All right, so this has to do with something that came up on a run today, and it has to do with releasing limiting beliefs. If we look at everything from the perspective that we live in an infinite universe, meaning infinite possibilities, then our own beliefs are going to be a certain grade of limitation of the infinite, right? So part of this process of expanding awareness is about releasing those limitations, um, starting from the belief of being the body, the physical self. I mean, this is basically what grounds us, what roots us within this reality. So we have to move our awareness from beyond this physical sense to home, the creator, however you want to look at it. So, and we do that by awareness, right? It's just like anything else in reality. You can even look at superficial things, right? How do we address problems? By looking at it. The more we pay attention to it, the more ideas we get, the more solutions we get, the more we work at it. So, it's all about awareness. So, this is about bringing awareness to our limiting beliefs and releasing those beliefs. Now, the easiest way to release your beliefs, of course, is basically just focus on the creator, right? Through meditation, whatever your practice may be. That in itself will actually bring more realizations because you're constantly investing energy. You know, whatever you focus on is what you manifest more of. However, we can also apply practices throughout the day to help expand our awareness even more as we're going throughout the day. You know, it's like anything else in life. You don't have to just limit your practice to a specific day or time of the week. You know, encompass it, make it your life. Look at ways to be able to implement this in every aspect of your being. So in this case, with the removing the limiting beliefs, create a daily practice, right? Just start with one. Just every single day, ask, show me one of my limiting beliefs today that I can work on releasing the limitations for. And a way to do it is basically, it's about becoming aware of your belief, first of all. So, as you're going about your day, when you catch yourself either responding, saying, thinking, acting from a perspective of a belief that you realize is limiting in one sense or another, stop and look at it and say, okay, if we live in an existence that has infinite possibilities and infinite perspectives, what I see right now is one perspective out of an infinite, and it has limitations. So what are the limitations within this belief? And then when you find them, then ask, okay, now that I'm aware of this limitation, show me another perspective that releases this limitation. And then just let it be, let it go. The idea is don't focus on any of this stuff. You know, when we look at the stuff with excitement, like, ooh, I learned this, ooh, I want to do, we're basically separating ourselves, right? It's like, I can walk, right? I have legs, I can walk. You know, every day I get up, I spend the day walking around my legs, and that's basically it. I don't think about it. But now, if you look at the perspective of someone that maybe have been in a wheelchair for the past couple years, you know, if they start learning to get their legs back, all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's this accomplishment. Oh my goodness, there's this. There's a sense of change from not having to having. But once we can get over that hump of the excitement, right? We realize that, okay, this is just a natural state of being, right? This is just a natural thing that we can do. So, you know, there's nothing to get excited about, whatever, okay? This is just a practical application. I have limiting beliefs, okay. What is my limited belief within this? Okay. I don't know what another perspective is right now, otherwise I'd be living it. So, show me another perspective that releases this limitation. And you'll find it's like when you're not even thinking about it, it'll just manifest for you. Kind of as an example, when I was running today, right? I decided, okay, I want to apply this. How do I apply this to running? Okay, so what are the limitations with running? Well, the first limitation is if you think you're the body, you're restricted to the functions of the body. So you're going to run out of air. You're going to, the body's going to require more oxygen, right? Heart rate's going to have to increase. There's a lot of different things that come into play, right? So that's just the body. All right, how's the environment limiting? Okay, well, the wind is blowing, right? Wind's pushing air against me, which is creating resistance. So it's making it more difficult for me to walk forward, right? I'm being limited by physics. Gravity's pulling me down to the ground. So I'm having, Enki's making a bed. So gravity's pulling me down to the ground. So I'm having to use muscles to keep myself upright, right? As the terrain starts to increase and decrease in gain, right? I'm going up and down in elevation. So now the physics come into play. Okay, now how much do you weigh? How much gravity's pull? All of these things, right? These are like programs, physics programs within the environment, right? And they're all creating limitations because it's all based off of a perspective that everything is separate, nothing's connected. So everything's being pulled to itself. So going through on this run, it's like, okay, I'm now aware of these limitations. Now how do I transcend it, right? How do I get beyond these limitations? And then I continued running, forgot about it, just started focusing on my brow and, chanting Om and just running, whatever, just going back into meditation. Then all of a sudden I come to another hill with a very, very high grade elevation. It was big elevation change compared to the hill that I was on previously. And then as soon as I started to get to it, it's like, okay, now I'm starting to feel the body. I feel the legs getting tired. I feel the acid, the lactic acid. I feel this, I feel that. Okay, great. So what do I need to do here? Nothing. Keep going. Don't focus on it as being a negative thing, because what you think about, you attract more of. If you're looking at it as like, I'm tired, my muscles hurt, this acid, blah, 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 whatever it is, you start putting your mindset in not liking it, making it difficult, and you attract more of those same thoughts. And being that we are not this body, we are actually just the awareness of consciousness watching the body. We tell the body through consciousness, through the mind, how it should respond. So if we use our willpower and say, okay, I feel it, it hurts, it's exhausting, it's whatever, that just means that the body is working. Cool, that's what I'm trying to do right now, right? I'm pushing it to its limits so it can get its best potential right now. Great. So don't worry about that stuff. Just keep going. And then what you'll start to do is it doesn't hurt as much anymore. It doesn't burn as much. You're not as exhausted. These things don't affect you as much because it came into your awareness, you acknowledged it, and then you made the decision that I'm not going to let it affect me. However, that same consciousness could have looked at it as, okay, this is tiresome. When are we going to get to the top? How much further do we got to go? My legs. Putting one into that perspective, now the body responds to the consciousness. It no longer goes, I'm working and I'm going to keep going. It's now saying, I'm working and man, this really sucks. Are we almost done yet? So this is just one perspective, right? This is just one situation, one scenario. So I actually added this to the bullet journal today. I'm going to do this every single day, and it's a really good exercise to try it out. Just one day, one thing a day. Naturally, over time, that's going to expand. I mean, you're going to start seeing more things throughout the day that you can work towards, more limitations to release because, you're just focused on it and it just becomes a natural part of your experience. But start a practice of it, right? Every day, how can I release my limitations? How can I release my limitations? And just keep expanding and going from there. So, thought it'd be something great to share. So, everybody have an amazing weekend. And, take care.